What is going on, guys? Back-to-back nights. Thank you for all of those who stuck with me last night. I know it was a late night. We went well past 1 p.m. for all of those on the East Coast. Happy Easter. We're going to go ahead and jump into this video and let people slowly come in. As this is going to probably take a couple seconds for people to start trickling in here. So what I have is a big order that we're going to be revealing. So 256 card order as well as a 180 card order. So we're going to be going through these and just going through each card individually. So this is going to consist of some cards. Yep, back to back, Jacks. That's right, back to back. Love it. So we're going to be going through 180 cards plus 256. Last night I did 415. My entire place right now is swimming in cards. So I don't know if y'all can see. All those cards from last night are sitting over there because I got to sort them. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. But first, just as we always do, we'll shake the little ball. See if this is going to be a good day, a good night. Is it going to be good orders? I already know what they are, but for the viewers out there, let's see. Come on. What does that say? Good night, good night. Anybody see what that says? All right, let's do another little shake. Sometimes this thing is really hard to tell. Yeah, it's going to be hit or miss. Man, iffy. I think that means it's going to be iffy. All right, we'll accept that. It's clearly not wanting to shake up. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So first up, we have got LeBron James, and we are going to go ahead and do the same trick as last night. I know it's going to be a little bit of a glow, but hopefully we can get these cards a little bit more lit up. All right, so LeBron James, 2004 Fleer Tradition Hardcourt Tributes. It's a PSA 9. So the gem rate on these is basically going to be the same. PSA's been kind of hammering stuff with a pretty low gem rate, but there'll be cards like this. This has a surface issue. I know that they have some problems, so you're going to see a couple of those. This is a PSA 6. For a lot of the cards in these orders, you're going to see some serial numbers get skipped over. This is not going to be every card in the order because if you got a chance to see the previous video that I just uploaded, shows a lot of the cards that I've been selling. So I've been selling a bunch of stuff out of this. So you're going to see a lot of Ohtani's missing, a lot of Judges missing. This is kind of the stuff that's a little bit left over. All this is going to is on my eBay page today. So, and I tried to move the chat to where it's a little bit larger and more visible. So hopefully that's a little bit better for everybody. So you don't have to necessarily squint and see what people are saying. So hopefully it's a little bit better. Peyton Manning, insert rookie PSA 8. Lots and lots of PSA 8s, but it's okay because we'll definitely have PSA 10. Austin Brown, need to invest in a new 8-ball. You are totally right. I need a new 8-ball. This is a really, really cool card. They just did a remake of this set. For any of the Classics fans from Panini, there's a new set. It's actually a super short print. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have an Instant Classics dual card, and I have one, and I love it. So this is the Peyton Manning Tom Brady duel. This is not a super rare card, but the new set is rare. And I'm pretty happy I have one. So this is a pretty cool one. PSA 10 Manning Brady. There's not a lot of those combos out there. So I think it's kind of cool to have that. 2018 Heritage Aaron Judge. Again, this is kind of going back into that theme of, oh man, you all didn't see that I got these. I keep forgetting I haven't shown these. Last night you all saw me go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 on these. But here we go. We got some Justin Verlanders. The good thing about this order is, even though it's a low gem rate, we're looking at mid-2000s stuff. I can't remember who said that last night, but it's going to be stuff that actually grades out really, really well. Even if it's a 9, it's still going to do well. So all these are in order. I don't want to mess them up. That was from one box. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the next box. So these guys, again, all in order. This is my process. I put the cards in order. I don't want to get them out of order. It makes it a little bit challenging. So we'll go ahead and get all of these here. Let's put this box off to the side. Okay. So let's just do some stacks. Boom. First one in the sequence. And this is a good one. So, Mickey Mantle. This is a Bowman Sterling Red Refractor, 1 of 1. Really, really cool card. Red Refractor. Love it. This is the first Red Refractor that I've ever gotten. First 1 of 1 Mickey Mantle that I've ever gotten. So, really, really cool cards. Got outbid on some cards tonight. Dang, Joel. There's a bunch of stuff ending tonight. So I've got some stuff, some snipe set. I'd say in between this session, I'm going to have to double check just to make sure I have some stuff set. But I've got outbid on quite a bit of stuff tonight too. I also won some stuff. I just won a Patrick Mahomes autograph patch and I paid $2,100 for it. But it was from the first year they did Panini 1-on-1. And it was a really, really nice autograph patch. I just won that like 20, 30 minutes ago. So we've got a dimple on this Aaron Judge. So that is why this one is coming back a PSA 8. But don't fret, because we got some PSA 10s. 2 home runs today. Aaron Judge, happy Easter. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. PSA 10. So I went 3 for 4 on these. And I love it because it's 2013. It's the first year. It's great, great stuff. Then, of course, we got some beautiful Shoheis. I just sold this card today. I sold it for $275. Buyer has paid, so I got to package this up. This is going to be one of the many Shoheis in this order that's actually gone now. It's probably one of the last Shoheis that is not a PSA 10 that's still hanging around. There's a rainbow foil. I think these are still relatively underrated. In my opinion, I think that they're underrated. This is a super, super cool card. Man, again, the gem rate on this order is really low. I don't think it was inappropriately graded necessarily. Again, there's a lot of cards here, a decade plus older. But to be able to get this card to gem, so this is Wilt Chamberlain 2012 Panini Prism. And maybe I can do something a little bit better with this light because it's not really doing what I want it to do. It's coming up not as clear. But PSA 10 Prism, love it. Silver, it's awesome. That card is a pop around 10 or 11, so really, really nice. Yeah, dude, Aaron Judge is off to a torrid pace, but he's not the only one. It is Judge and Ohtani. Ohtani had a great day today, 2 for 5 with a walk, home run. I mean, he and Mike Trout are basically doing everything they can to keep the team in it, and unfortunately, the bullpen for the Angels blew their third game. Wander Franco, I think he also hit a home run today. Like everybody that is, hobby hot did well. I think the only person who had a mediocre day, Julio Rodriguez, I think he went 1 for 6, but hey, it's better than an offer. So as long as you can limit your offers, that's okay. I mean, he hit a home run yesterday, so can't hit him every day. Aaron Judge, so again, these are second-year cards, and I think that these are still going to do pretty well. Here's a refractor. So I've sold a couple of these refractors and X-fractors in the 65 to 75 range. This card also was sold. If you watched my video earlier, I sold this for $20 because somebody else, the guy who bought it, actually bought another more expensive Mike Trout that is also in this order. Ichiro and Shohei. I love this card. Really, really cool. PSA 10. These are in the 65, 70 range. Surprised that one actually hasn't sold yet because I have it priced pretty reasonable. Xander Bogaerts, I'm expecting big things with him. It looks like Juan Soto is starting off okay. No need to panic on him. He had another multi-hit day. Once they get Fernando Tatis back, they got Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado. That lineup is crazy, crazy good. So yeah, and he had a hot spring as well. So Cade Cunningham, break even on that. Probably not good just because he is hurt. I thought that I sold this card for $18. Unfortunately, O'Neal Cruz got hurt bad. Oh, I did not see that. I did not see that. What happened to him? Like leg injury or something else? I know there's a lot of people at one of the last shows I went to are asking if I had any O'Neal Cruzes. And I wasn't as big of a guy or fan of O'Neal Cruz, but still pretty cool. King Griffey Jr. Sapphire. This was a update Sapphire, PSA 10. Dang, Nelson Cruz. I forgot Nelson Cruz was still in the league. I'm not even going to lie. I know he mashes nonstop, but I forgot that he was still in the league. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. All right, Cody Bellinger, Aaron Judge. This is a dual combo. This card used to be pretty hot, but not so much anymore. Talking about hot. Oh, spicy. Spicy Donald. Oh, this could be one that actually might sell really well right now with him being in the news. Oh yeah, Playboy. Yeah, I just put that at a 7-day auction, so I don't know. Maybe somebody pumps it up. MJ Finest PSA 9. Hope Donald perseveres. Come on now. He's the only president getting indicted on paying money for sex, so it's not like the previous 4 presidents haven't done that publicly. Anthony Hardaway. This is a really, really cool card. I want to say this is less than 10 graded gem mint. This is the uncommon silver refractor. This one's actually serial numbered to 1090, 367 out of 1090. This is a very, very hard card to get in a gym. If you all are anybody who's a 90s fan, you know Anthony Hardaway, big, highly collected, big 90s guy, him and Grant Hill. If you can get any of those 90s cards to be gem mint, you're doing really, really good. Hoops Airlines. This is the regular version for Kobe. There is a different version that is also the upgrade parallel. This is not the upgrade parallel, but I really like this card. The corners on these are rounded, so it's one of those cards that kind of looks like a pass just with rounded corners. I like that. Really good foil, PSA 9. This card, if you also watched the video that I just released right before going live, again, this is a PSA 10 that I just sold. I sold this today as well for the buy it now price of $249.99. So this Kobe, as well as the Kobe that I'm holding in my hand, which is the All-Star version. There's a couple of different versions. And then also this one, which is the Planet Metal. I bought all these from the same seller for average about 100 to 115 per card, something like that. This Planet Metal is basically a $200 card. That Kobe was $250, and then this card is basically going to be 100, 120. So did really, really good on those. This one is a card that I was hoping was going to do a little bit better, but I think it may have a surface scratch on it. So this is the Hoops calling card. It's also one with rounded corners, so I was hoping that I could maybe squeeze out a good grade on that, but unfortunately I did not. Griffey call to action, was not expecting an 8 on this. 9 at worst. 9 at worst. So anytime I get 8s on things like that, I'm not expecting to do well. King Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Topps Chrome combos. So that one is pretty nice. Then also we've got Magic Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal. This one is a combo PSA 9. This is a super rare Tim Duncan. There's a couple of these refractors from the same seller that I ended up selling, which is a Kobe No Limit. That was a refractor I sold for $230, and then I also sold a Tim Duncan refractor around the same time frame, 2000 Topps Chrome No Limit set. Sold that for $80. This is the last one that I have left in hand, and this is a combo refractor of Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Pop 1, none graded higher. This is a very difficult set to find in basketball. It's not as popular because it doesn't have Michael Jordan. He was retired by then, and then there's no Kobe. There is a Kobe version, Kobe and Shaq. And I have not seen a refractor of that. The base PSA 10 for Kobe and Shaq is a $300+ card. At the peak, it was like $500 or $600 because I graded a PSA 10 and sold one. The one Kobe that I did get to gem is the No Limit, and this one is less than 15 pops. So even getting 9s on these is still really, really good. If you can get 10s, even better. It's worth submitting it at $19 a card. This is a 90 or 2000 Topps Chrome refractor. This is Chrome Kings refractor, and it is serial numbered to 445 on the back. So again, kind of going after more serial numbered stuff. This King Griffey Jr. came back a near mint 7. I'm not really sure why, I'll be perfectly honest. I think this is the lowest one graded in the population report. So to me, it looked like it was mint, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And also, this is the second E-Tops card that I've graded. All these come in an uncirculated holder. Both of them came back PSA 7s. Both of them are in the bottom 5% of cards graded by PSA. So, uncirculated, completely sealed. Yes, they've been rattling around in those things for a while, but the two that I've graded were in the bottom 5%, submitted in 2023. You know, I think it means that there's different standards at PSA. That's just my take. Here's another card with rounded corners. I was definitely going after some cards with rounded corners, hoping to score some nice PSA 10. So this is a Tom Brady from 2004 Ultra Performers. This is the gold die cut parallel. It came back a 9. And then I have its little brother over here at an 8. And I'm not sure why an 8. Again, I'd have to inspect it and take a deeper look at it, but it's one of those I figure if I cracked it out, it probably has a good shot at being a 10. Speaking of 10, they did give me my Fat Albert PSA 10 on a Topps Gallery, so this actually did pay off. This is a $40, $50 card raw. PSA 10s are $250, $300 right around whenever he was retiring, so that's good. Again, pays for a lot of the bad 9s, and I think that's that box. All right. So unlike some of the other ones, I actually do want to package these up because I don't want to get these out of order and cause a lot of clutter. So it's my process is I have all these cards in sequential order. Even whenever I go to a show, that way whenever I sell something, I can actually go directly by the serial number and find it really easy. Out of all the cards that I have sitting around, I can just go straight to the serial number. So now that's back in order. We will go to the next one. Go ahead and go through these. So I'm a big fan of these types of cards just because it's not a lot of ultra modern stuff. You can see how I broke this order out. This is all old stuff. All old stuff. So, all right. Let's break these guys out. Set them aside. All right, get a nice little swig. Then jump back into it. First up. So we got a fractured ankle. Really? Oh, man. I wonder how long he's going to be out for that. So fractured ankle for O'Neal Cruz. Not good. Or was that Nelson Cruz that had the fractured ankle? Are you serious? The Padres have Nelson Cruz. So they got Xander Bogaerts. They got Manny Machado, Juan Soto. But I don't know, what are they going to do with Fernando Tatis? Because I thought whenever they were picking up Xander, they're like, okay, we're done. Unless they're going to have them obviously play different positions. So a lot of cool Ohtani Trout cards I've been looking at. Heck yeah, dude. Go for Trout, Ohtani, and Judge, I might add. This is a really cool card. Really cool card. So King Griffey Jr., Joe DiMaggio, two of the best center fielders of all time. PSA 10 jersey. There's just something about this, man. Like game jerseys, it's very hard to find these cards in PSA 10 grade, especially ones that are almost 25 years old. So I think that's really cool. And it never grows tiring for me to grade this card and have it come back a PSA 10. Again, at peak last summer, I was selling these cards over $600 a pop. They're not $600 anymore, but I have this currently running at auction. I believe it ends tomorrow night. It's already bid up to $250. These are cards that you can still buy in the $50 range. PSA 10s are $250 plus, so we'll see where that one lands. I really thought this one had a good shot at being a PSA 10. PSA 10 is 100 plus. PSA 9 I think is still around a $75 card. No nibbles as of yet, but I think that this is still a pretty cool card. Second year, Brady. Then also some nibbles on this. Not a lot of people with serious interest, but SPX. Again, I've graded a bunch of these, a bunch of PSA 10s. This is PSA 9. I think I could still do okay on it. Did get a 2002 Topps Chrome Ring of Honor. This is a 200 plus card for Brady, still, even in today's market. Again, the 2002 stuff still does really well. So I was taking that and also going to Albert Pujols. So Pujols rookie in 2001. Second year stuff for Pujols is still very low pop. He is now retired. He will soon be a Hall of Famer. People are going to be wanting to get a lot of PSA stuff out of Pujols. They've always wanted to get PSA stuff, but it looked like this past year some stuff really started to trend upwards for Pujols. So I think that that's still going to bode well for him moving forward. Here is his Topps Pristine. This card is very rare, low pop. Not many of these are popping up. A lot of these are just stuck in monster boxes because people don't know that, these are low gem rates, but PSA 10s are still triple figures. So these are the types of cards I like to go for in dollar boxes. Anybody who has boxes like this with mid-2000s stuff, that's the way to go. I love those boxes to go through because people think, hey, they're base cards. Yeah, they're base cards. They're not worth a lot. But those are cards that you can 10x and 20x in a PSA slab. So, all right, JV Baseball Cards. Happy Easter, man. Halfway through the eBay video you posted. Heck yeah, dude. Hopefully everybody got a chance to watch at least part of that because a lot of the cards that were sold on that eBay video, I just recorded that today. Tried to get out and get that up as quick as I could. Because a lot of the cards that are on that are actually cards that came from these orders. So here's a 2002 Upper Deck Tom Brady. This is a PSA 10. And man, this card is low pop. Less than 100 of them graded PSA 10. It's a very condition sensitive card. The Bazooka comics really took off for basketball and to some extent football, as Tom Brady Bazooka comics are good. So I wanted to get some Griffey ones. You can still get these Griffies for less than $5. PSA 10s are like 60, 70 bucks. So still not bad. I love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Again, this order, the order that I'm going through right now, I forgot to mention to everybody, this is from October. October. So I did not get this in hand until mid-March. I was furious. I basically got put in contact with every single head person at PSA. From their marketing person, from Nat Turner to their VP of operations to, I bypassed essentially the person I was working with in terms of customer service. I just bypassed them. They weren't getting anything done. I was interacting with them on a 6-week basis, and I was like, all right, forget this. I'm DMing Nat Turner, and literally within 48 hours, the order moved, and I'm like, that's disappointing. I'm glad he's got pull. I mean, he owns the company. Of course he's going to pull. But geez, dude, October? Literally. So again, this is probably what, $18, I think. So $18 per card. It's not a $19 per card. $18. Let's see. Albert Pujols. This is fashionably great. Game jersey PSA 9. I did get a PSA 10, which is coming up. So again, some early fat Albert PSA 10s. The last pristine PSA 10 that I submitted of Albert Pujols, I got right around 150 to 180, so that one's not bad. Hoping that I get the same out of that. Upper Deck Legends Tom Brady, PSA 10. Got some Golden Nuggets Tom Brady, PSA 10. I think I ended up buying 4 of these, and I went 3 for 4 on gems for Golden Nuggets from Topps Chrome 2005. Then we also got a Max Scherzer. So I went 0 for 2 on the Max Scherzers, as you all can see. 0 for 2? Obama. Dude, whoever is grading this, they were like, I'm not a liberal or a conservative. Like, I hate everybody. Trump got 7'd and so did Obama. They both got 7s. They're like, we're not gonna make cards political. They gave the black one an 8, though, and it clearly has damage. I knew that this card was not going to grade out well. I just wanted to get a slab because it is low pop. But, yeah, dude, the black one's got a lot more damage on it. They gave that one an 8, so whatever. This Paul Goldschmidt, so Bowman Chrome First Refractor. This is a PSA 8. It's got some surface stuff on it. I knew it being this old and it not being in a PSA case, it was probably going to have some flaws. Come to find out, surface it is. So, Mike Trout, I'm starting to really get a low gem rate on these. It seems like a lot of the ones that come back, they are not gemming out. So I did get one out of the past 2 orders that you all saw. I've gone 1 for 3 on these. So we're starting to run out of gem or gradable options. Here's another Joe DiMaggio, Joltin' Joe Sapphire from 2011, graded or numbered 2 out of 3. It seems like in triple threads, they don't have any more Hall of Fame jersey cards anymore. If you look at 2021, 2022, they're really running out. There's no Mickey Mantle stuff anymore. There's no Joe DiMaggio. There's no Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. I'm not sure if they've cut up all the stuff or if Panini bought it all, because Panini's still releasing some stuff. But who knows if that stuff is real. I think that they're just grabbing that off the rack at Fanatics, at Walmart. Ty Cobb game bat number 25, PSA 8. I don't know about that. I think that's a mint 9. I think it's a mint 9. Let's see. 2005 Bowman Draft Refractor. Not Julio Rodriguez. Aaron Judge. Jeez. Beautiful card. Again, people love some Judgy. PSA 10, again, selling a bunch of these. You all seen I've sold so many of them, and I have so many more in hand. So I did really good on this order, specifically with Aaron Judge. Did really good. This one came back a 7, so it's probably got some roller mark, surface dent, something. So no biggie. I think that's the only one that came back bad. And I sold all the other ones that were PSA 10s or PSA 9s. Here's another Rookie in Stars. This almost looks like a carbon copy of last night's video. So lots of baseball, lots of Aaron Judge, lots of Shohei Ohtani. I don't think I've gone through all the Ohtanis, but nope, Ohtani's coming up. So these HMT 50s I may crack out. PSA 10s are 140, 150. Just depends. We'll look at the corners and see. This card, I keep getting offers in the 140 range. I keep rejecting them because I've sold 3 or 4 of them for 145. Pre-World Baseball Classic. This is serial number to 399. And I'm hoping to get around 175 out of that. I would expect that to get a little bit of a boost. And then we also got an Archives PSA 9. So that is the end of that box. Got a couple questions. Let's see, Bob Ryan. Or Bob Dylan. Tyler, did you start off just buying and selling raw, or did you get into grading almost immediately? Good question. So I don't know if many people really know my story about getting in the hobby, because I don't think I've really talked about it or talked about my origins of being in the hobby. So no, whenever I got in the hobby, grading wasn't really a thing. So I was born in 87, so that makes me 35, I think, if I can do math. And I got into the hobby around 1993. I was like 6 years old. So growing up, I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. I had all the shoes. I had all the jerseys. You know, I remember him playing baseball. I vaguely remember the 1993 NBA Finals where John Paxson hit the 3. You know, me and all my brothers were sitting around watching the game, eating pizza. But around that era, like that's whenever I started remembering sports, and I was a huge basketball player. Still am. I play every Monday night, and I take it very seriously. Like I got a black eye a couple weeks ago playing basketball. But whenever I got into the hobby, my introduction to the hobby, I hate to say it, was monetarily driven, even as a 6-year-old. So my older brother was I have 2 half brothers, and the one who is, you know, the second oldest, he's in his mid to late 40s now. He took my brother and me out to Walmart, and it was my other brother's birthday. So he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you all a pack of cards." He was a huge collector, huge Jose Canseco fan, had a huge collection, like all the 80s rookies, all the early 90s rookies. He was a big baseball guy, but I was more basketball. So whenever we went to the store, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to buy you a pack of cards." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And he was like, "Hey, be careful whenever you open them, because depending on what card you get out of the pack, it may be worth a lot of money." And literally, I remember from that very day, him saying that. I was like, what? So I can actually spend money on cards and make money? And my entire world was blown. So growing up, I basically bought and sold cards. So if I got birthday money, my dad was a construction worker, so he would do acoustical ceilings, drywall, framing, you name it. He was a contractor. So whenever I would work with him, you know, we would do a job and I would get some money and I would go buy boxes. I would buy boxes of all the stuff, like 97, 98 Topps Chrome, 97, 98 Finest Series 1, Series 2, 98, 99, 99, 2000. You know, I bought boxes basically all the way up through 2003, 2004, LeBron's rookie year, and that's basically whenever I stopped. Because I was buying and opening just to buy. And what I would do is right around the late 90s, I would use my parents' eBay account, and I would buy cards. So I was an early adopter on eBay. So the first thing that I got into cards with was still around that time, you know, living in the Midwest, not a lot of people had access to the internet, and they definitely didn't have access to eBay. So around that time on eBay, game use jersey cards and memorabilia, 101s, all those things were becoming super prevalent. This is a really nice card, by the way. PSA 10, first Sapphire for Juan Soto. So my angle back then was I want to buy cards that the World Wide Web is making not rare, but in my little local market is extremely rare, unless you go to a national show. And my grandfather had a flea market. So in the Midwest, if you are on a highway between Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio, and Kentucky, there's a highway called the 127. And on that highway, they have what's called every August, the biggest yard sale in the country. It's called 127 Days. So every year at my grandfather's flea market, which was on that highway, I would set up the entire, 3-4 days there, starting whenever I was 10 years old. So every single year I would set up from the time I was 10 all the way through me basically graduating high school. And then eventually in high school, my grandfather said, hey, before I pass away, I want you to run this one time. So I actually ran that like for 1 year. So my early adoption was, again, as a collector. I was a huge MJ collector. So me buying and ripping packs, I was always trying to find MJ cards, trade for MJ cards. I still have not all, but the majority of the cards. This is a nice aqua. It's really, really nice. I have the majority of them still in my 3-row box. Like all the big inserts, if I could grade them, I graded them already. But a lot of my favorite base cards, I still have, all the way from whenever I opened them. But I didn't send my first graded card order until 1999. So me and my dad sent 20 cards in. They were all mine, except he sent in his 96 Kobe Bryant Topps Chrome because, again, we took a trip to Walmart. We both got a pack. I got a bunch of duds. He got the Kobe rookie, and he sent it off to get it graded, and it came back a 9. Back in 1999 through Beckett. I was so pissed because on that order in 1999, out of 20 cards, we only got 2 Beckett 9 mint cards. And then, so we got 2 Beckett 9 mint cards, and then the rest of them were below 9. There's no Gem mint cards at all. So my introduction to the hobby and grading specifically was so negative, I did not send another card in until 2007. So at this point, I was an undergrad, started undergrad at University of Kentucky in 2006. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Let's give this grading thing a try again. I know some group submitters through a forum called Freedom Cardboard. At the time was the most popular sports card forum out there. And they had some specials at like $6 to $7 per card. So I started to submit some of those, starting with prospects. At that point, around 2006, I started getting into baseball prospects because I saw what happened with Albert Pujols. I saw what happened with David Wright. I saw what happened with Ryan Howard. And I was like, okay, why can't I do that? Why can't I find these guys? Like, I can see who these people are. Like, I can find the guy who hits 56 home runs in his first major league season, like Ryan Howard, or 47, whatever it was. David Wright's Bowman Chrome hit $1,000, so easy. I can do this. So I had some very early luck with that. So I did really well in Justin Upton, hit or miss on some things, but overall I did pretty good. 2008, 2009, I really hit it with Steven Strasburg. I was the earliest person on Steven Strasburg by far out of anybody on the planet. Before he came out in 2010 Bowman, before he came out in Bowman Chrome, before he was drafted by the Nationals, USA Upper Deck cards were the card to get. I saw what happened with Bryce Harper because everybody else was on Bryce Harper way before I was, and they got all the good cards. I was very early on Steven Strasburg. I got all of his best stuff, and I crushed it. And that was during the great financial collapse. So again, around that time, 2008 Bowman Chrome, I was grading a ton of it. Giancarlo Stanton, Bowman Chrome autograph, Mike Stanton, Bowman Chrome autographs, color, blue refractors, gold refractors, Jesus Montero. I absolutely killed it with Jesus Montero. People say he's a big flop. Well, yeah, he's a big flop, but he still made you a lot of money in the minors. So that's a very, very long answer to your question. But no, I did not get into grading immediately. I was collector at heart, which I think is probably how it all should be. I don't think that many people should jump in just to trade widgets because, these widgets are easy to flip. Man, I think that's oriented wrong. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be oriented this way. I messed it up. Mike Trout patch, PSA 9. So yeah, collector at heart, and I still have my collection, so I didn't get rid of all my childhood stuff. So yeah, I think that in the beginning it was that. In between, so I had a bunch of the jersey stuff and the one-of-ones. The thing that really turned me away from the one-of-ones is, if anybody remembers Donruss Diamond Kings around 2004, 2005, they absolutely bastardized one-of-ones. Meaning, for every product, there was probably like 20 one-of-ones of a player, just with a different color. So they had rainbows before rainbows really became a thing, and they killed the value of one-of-ones. So I was really big into that. I remember getting Albert Pujols one-of-ones for like $300. I had a dual autograph logo tag patch Willie Mays, one-of-one, sticker autograph, but still a one-of-one. I remember buying that card for $350. Today that's over $1,000 plus because they just don't make those things anymore. But I specialized in stuff like that. But then whenever they just kept slapping one-of-ones on everything, and just like they do now with serial numbers, they slap serial numbers in just a different color. It's not special. So now I'm really more going towards, again, rookies for sure, and then ink. That to me is important. And then really trying to provide stuff that a collector would want. So, a lot of people will want PSA 10s of Ohtani inserts and Judge inserts and their parallels, and maybe some of the base set variations and autographs and Hall of Fame cards like that. But I've kind of been a chameleon. It's really been like, okay, let's do something until it works or until it doesn't work, and then migrate to something else. But the grading part, where it's been exclusively grading as part of a different niche, I didn't do that until around 2007, 2008. So that's actually probably one of the best questions I think I've ever had that made me just ramble on through an entire 50 cards. So I actually do appreciate that from a question perspective, because I don't think I've got a chance to share with everybody what really got me in the hobby. It was all my my pesky brother, which funny enough, he did exactly what I planned on doing with a lot of my collection. As soon as he found his then wife and sold his entire collection, and he had a really, really good collection, sold it for like $2,000, and to buy his engagement ring, which at the time we're talking about late 90s, so I'm assuming that was probably a lot of money back then. Okay, so that order was the 180 card order. Nobody move. I'm just going to go right over here and get 5 more boxes, because now we're going to do the 256 card order. So I'll get to a couple of these other ones here in a second and follow up on these, but don't go anywhere. Okay. All right. So we're going to do 3 first, and then we are going to jump into the last 2 that are sitting over there. So I don't want to damage anything and break anything. I think Bob Dylan, you're the one from Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. I know I met you. I met you at the show. The Bob Dylan name does throw me off a little bit. Appreciate the answer. Who are some prospects you missed big on? I was on Ronald Guzman and Ricky Weeks, and I was very strong. So, good. That's actually a good question, too. So it's funny. I kept Excel spreadsheets back in 2008, and I started doing it because I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm really doing well on this, or if I'm making anything, or whatever. So let's see. So I jumped into prospecting in 2006, and I thought that it was super easy because Justin Upton, I bought an X-Fractor Bowman Chrome of his, I bought a Blue Refractor Bowman Chrome, didn't grade any of them. Again, it was just flipping and prospecting, and back then it was super easy. Like, back then, you could buy cards of guys and they actually go up over time. Now you buy cards and they immediately go down. Regardless of, like, it wasn't as highly, like a magnifying lens was on them the entire time. It's basically like if they did something good, they go up, like really, really high. If they do bad, you have a little bit of a grace period to, like, exit. Now the grace period is so small. And it's just like, in addition to that, you have the grading element, because it's like if the card's not gradable and it has a surface scratch, you're looking at 20% below raw comps, if you even note that. So it's just a different world a little bit. But whenever I think back on some of the ones that I missed out on, I spread my money around to a lot of different people. So I remember one time, if anybody remembers Kyle Banks in 2006 Bowman, He was not in Bowman Chrome, but this is back whenever Bowman was actually its own separate entity. So they had different autograph subjects, which I really enjoyed. I wish they would go back to that. He was a Padre, I think. I think I got a lot of 10 Bowman autographs of his for like $250, so $25 a card. I didn't do well on those. I think I ended up like losing $100 or something like that. Let's see, Mike Moustakas in 2008. He was a draft pick in 2007. They did not have an autograph because Leaf Razor ended up buying out all the prospects. So there was like nobody good in 2007 Bowman draft autograph checklist. It was basically Bo Mills and Michael Burgess, two people. Nobody, if you weren't in the game back then, you don't know who they are. They're flipping pizzas somewhere. But Mike Moustakas, the number 2 pick, I ended up buying his Bowman Chrome Orange Refractor because he had a hot spring in like 2010 or 2011. Didn't do well on that. I think I ended up losing like $100 or $200, which back then, I mean, you're talking about a $300 card. If you lose a couple $100, you lose like half the value. This is a card, by the way. It's actually really nice. Low pop, PSA 9. Mike Zunino. I want to say it's 2012. I'm trying to date myself. For the Seattle Mariners, he was a catcher. Did not do well on him. Gary Sanchez, I thought for sure that I lost out on because I went really big on his Bowman Chrome, which was a horrible year to grade. That was the year of 2010 that had surface scratches, pock marks, all that junk. But I bought a lot of his Donruss Elite cards. And I remember right before he got called up to the Yankees and had his big hit, I was sitting on those cards for literally 5 years. I was about to write off about $1,500, which again, at the time, I'm talking about somebody being an undergrad. Like, I never held on to cards at all. I always flipped them whenever they were hot. Gary, whenever I bought them, they just never turned around to be hot. I had his Bowman Sterling Black refractors numbered to 25. I had his purple negative refractors, which I think were numbered to 5 or 10. I had 2 or 3 of those. I had his gold refractors numbered to 50. But then he got called up to the Yankees, and I just raked in. I remember, like, some of those I think I sold for losses, but the ones I held on to, I, like, more than made up for it. Man, dude. The ones that were losses were more like one-offs. Like, I was really big into Oscar Tavares. Fortunately, I was grading at that time, so I bought, sold, graded before he had his unfortunate car accident. He was going to be a guy. He was definitely going to be somebody who was going to be good. One guy that I was going to put a ton of money into, and I'm glad that Razor bought him, was Pedro Alvarez out of Vanderbilt. I was sold that he was going to be the next Albert Pujols. I thought for sure he was going to be Albert Pujols. I'm so glad that he went to Razor and I did not buy a single card of his. I think I may have got a couple Razor metal autographs or whatever, but back then those were cheap. But I did not pay a lot of money for Bowman Chrome, thank God. I remember I avoided Angel Villanova. I avoided Wilmer Flores. I would have bought a bunch of Wilmer Flores. It's so funny. Wilmer Flores is batting cleanup for the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. Giants or Mets? Giants, I want to say. Who would have thought, dude? 2008 Bowman Chrome. He came a long way. 16-year-old. Well, the other 16-year-old or 17-year-old Angel Villanova got charged for murder, if I'm not mistaken. So glad I avoided both of those. Avoided Michelle Wainoa from that same year. Man, there's a lot of people that I did actually avoid. You said Ricky Weeks. I did buy some Delman Youngs. So I remember, not Bowman Chrome, but I got some of his Topps Heritage autographs, like real ones. I didn't do well on those, obviously. All those lost money, but not big money. Those were things that, I may have a couple $100 in like 3 or 4 of his cards, and, I lose probably 60-70% of it. So this card I sold for $200 today, by the way. Yesterday. I'm so happy about that. Man, I'm trying to think, who are some of my other big losers? Mike Zunino was, I think, probably one of the bigger ones. I'm trying to think. The ones that I did really well on, those are probably the more famous ones, because if anybody here is on Freedom Cardboard, I usually started the player threads for the guys who blew up. So Steven Strasburg, I started the Strasburg Mania thread. Mike Trout. I was telling everybody to buy Mike Trout in the offseason right before he won Minor League Player of the Year. It was between him and Bryce Harper, and everybody was on Bryce Harper's jock because he was the most hyped prospect ever. And then we're in the middle of the Strasburg mania because Strasburg was, I think, finishing. I think he may have been drafted already. But Mike Trout was flying under the radar. And I was just looking at his minor league stats, and I was like, I mean, you can still buy, this guy's going to be the number one prospect in baseball. You can still buy his Bowman Sterling autographs for $20. If you just go to freedomcardboard.com and you look up Mike Trout Mania threads and go back, you'll see me saying, buy Mike Trout, buy Mike Trout. And I bought Mike Trout and I sold Mike Trout very early. I sold him as soon as he was called up, and I made a lot of money, but it did not make nearly as much money as I could have. Remember having 3 blue refractors, 2 were Beckett 9.5s. Those are $30,000, $40,000 cards now. Had a Bowman Platinum red refractor autograph, the only Beckett 9.5 that exists. Had a Beckett 9.5 base, several Sterling autographs, including pristine tins, a refractor pristine tin, a base pristine tin, like 6 or 7 refractors, Sterling Beckett 9.5s, probably 10 or 15 Sterling 9.5s. I only had like maybe $1,000 in everything. And that's probably, looking at that stuff today, you're looking at probably $500,000 in Mike Trout cards. So, hey, I paid my bills, and, the gas was good at the time in terms of getting gas money. So, live and learn. But I was always more of a flipper as opposed to an investor. So with flipping, you can at least make some steady, predictable stuff. But, if you're really, really confident on a player, that's where, guys like a Mahomes, I would love, Ohtani especially. I still have my Ohtani Bowman Chrome Orange Refractor autograph. And I've learned my lesson enough through Mike Trout that if you have the best card of the best player in the game, hold on to it, because as their legacy grows, that card that is the best card that they have will continue to grow. And I probably should have done that with 1 or 2 Mike Trout cards instead of being so short-sighted. I was always good at eyeing the talent, but I was never good at hanging on to it. I was always like, all right, let's flip. Off to another one. So, and I still have that. Like, I sell 99% of what I have. Like, money today is greater than waiting for the promise of money tomorrow. And I don't know. This kind of is what it is. Let's see. I collected in middle school between 2010 and 2013. So Strasburg was my introduction to hype. Oh, yeah. If you remember that, you remember Strasburg Mania. It was absolutely nuts. I remember his first outing against the Pirates. I want to say it was the Pirates. I think he struck out like 13 batters. Like, it was insane. I want to say they broadcasted that on either MLB Network or something. Like, the anticipation for that was just wild. And Strasburg single-handedly threw the Bowman prospect game into a different stratosphere. It was not Mike Trout. Mike Trout didn't do that. He further propelled it because Strasburg was kind of flaming out at that point. But we had, Mike Trout really carried the torch after the fact. And then what really Mike Trout did, he further propelled Bowman Chrome, but then he really made the rookie logo popular. Because at that point, you have the best player in baseball. He is the next Mickey Mantle. Nobody can afford the 2009 Bowman Chrome anymore. The only one that's available is autographed. You could afford the 2009 Elite, and maybe you could afford the 2010 Bowman Platinum, and maybe you could afford the 2010 Bowman Platinum autograph. But by that time, somebody wanted, a $5 Mike Trout card. That's where they gravitated towards the rookie logo, and the rest is history. So rookie logo, now it is here to stay on everything. And, I love it and hate it at the exact same time, but at the same time, it's given, at least and from a flipping perspective and a collecting perspective, more options for people to collect, flip, invest. I mean, you name it. So I much prefer the first card, but still, it's cool history, definitely, in terms of, how I think I sold this card today for $300, right on the money, right after 2 home runs. All right, what were some of the best cards you pulled back in the day? Ooh, that is a good one. We can go down memory lane there. So the first really big card that I ever pulled, I didn't even know how big it was until the shop owner said, "This is a big card." So 1997-98, everybody knows how awesome the parallels were back in the day. So those were the times of precious metal gems. Those were the times of the SPX Spectrum parallels and Radiance parallels. So and also there was Ultra Platinum medallions, Flair Showcase Legacy collections. So I was a big Skybox Premium guy, and I ended up getting a couple boxes for Christmas. But I remember stopping by the card store, hobby shop, and I just got like 1 or 2 packs of a couple of different things. And I pulled from 97-98 Skybox. I got a Star Ruby of Allen Iverson, and it was the Team Skybox Star Ruby. And, you know, Allen Iverson has a huge cult following now, especially whenever it comes to stuff like this. So I remember getting it, and the card was in immaculate, perfect condition. And I remember the shop owner just looking at it and being like, "Yep, this is a big card. I can sell it for you if you want." I was like, "Nah." So I put it in my 4 screw down and left it there. And of course I screwed it down too tight. So whenever I unscrewed it, trying to see what the condition looked like, it ended up peeling like a small corner of the peeling off of the foil. So, but still, beautiful card. I ended up selling it for like $300 in 2003 or 2004. So I held on to it for 7 years. As soon as the internet became popular, I think that I created, I don't know how I did this. I think I created a website listing out all my cards that obviously did not take off, but people somehow found out about it and saw that I had the card. They got in touch with me, and they're like, "I don't care if it's damaged. Like, I'm a huge Iverson collector. Will you sell it for this price?" And I was like, "Sure, sounds great." And yeah, that card is it's a Star Ruby of Allen Iverson, so it's tough. That's from the best year. It's not 98-99. 98-99 is a lesser year because 96-97 Star Rubies were not serial numbered. 97-98 they were numbered to 50. So that was one of the first big parallel years ever for any card set. The next big one that I got was, I had some really good luck in 2003 with some low-end boxes. So I never bought like high-end Ultimate Collection or Upper Deck Exquisite. I was kind of out of it by then. But I remember for Christmas, I got a box of Bowman Chrome for basketball and Topps Pristine basketball. And in the Bowman Chrome box, I got every single LeBron rookie. I got the Bowman Chrome, I got the Bowman, and I got the Bowman Gold, all in one box. And then that Christmas, I opened the Topps Pristine. And if anybody remembers Topps Pristine, there's 3 different levels. There's a regular level, there's like a middle level, and then there's a rare level. And for each one of those, there's an encased refractor. So there's an encased refractor of the middle level, or the first one's numbered to 1999. The middle level is numbered to, I want to say, 999, and then the refractor is numbered to 499. But then there's also a gold refractor for all of them, and the gold refractor is numbered to 99 for each one. So I pulled on Christmas the LeBron Gold Refractor Rare. So it wasn't the common one, it wasn't the middle one, it was the rare one. They're all numbered to 99, but it's the rare version. So I pulled that, and I mean, that card right now, I think in gem mint condition is, I mean, it's definitely 5 figures, so it's like 20 or 30,000. I think I sold that card for $350. $350? Oh my God, dude. I didn't sell it immediately. I think I sold it like maybe right before he won his first championship. So, again, cards weren't that high back then. So, those are 2 of my big pulls. I remember in 98-99, I opened a box of SP Authentic. And this is to the point where I was getting really frustrated opening cards, because you pay $80, $90 for a box, and you get 1 autograph, you get a couple serial numbered cards, and a bunch of base. And the inserts aren't worth squat. So that's kind of how Upper Deck was for their formula. And the autograph that I got was this weird German guy named Dirk Nowitzki, who hadn't done nothing in the NBA. Come to find out, fast forward many years later, that was probably one of the best pulls that I could have gotten out of that. And I ended up selling it, for basically box price. But that was one of Dirk's first. I think it was either 98, 99 or 99, 2000. It was either the rookie or the second year. So it may have actually been the rookie. Dang. I hope I didn't sell that cheap. A rookie autograph from it was like sign of the times. So yeah, that was a good pull. I didn't know it. I was kind of pissed about it, but later on it turned out to be a really, really good pull. Yeah. But I was like kind of pissed off because I was 11 years old and I was like, who's this guy? He sucks. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not Kobe Bryant. So if you didn't pull a Kobe or MJ back then, you were kind of disappointed. Yeah. Man, I can't think of any other big pulls. I didn't open a whole lot of wax after 2000. Well, really any wax after 2003 because I was like only singles. I'm tired of paying, at that point, Topps Finest for LeBron's first year, 2002, 2003, that had the extended redemption in it. That box was $150 at launch. And that was getting to the point where it was unheard of because just a couple years before that, we're talking 80, 90. LeBron immediately doubled box prices. It's just frustrating. That year is frustrating. It's like, and I'm tapped out. So I don't know why people continue to put up with the crap that they put up now with boxes because there's no way. I tapped out whenever it was LeBron's rookie year at $150 a box. There's no way that I would pay $800, $900, $1,000 for boxes now where you're getting fake game used cards, you're getting more stickers than ever. You're not even getting autographs of the legends. It's funny. I saw in the brand new Contenders basketball that just released, they have a legendary autograph checklist set. One of the autograph subjects in the Legends autograph checklist set is Eddie Curry. Interesting. Maybe they're going with legendary flop. Maybe. I mean, he was a top 5 pick. Legendary flop. He's not a legend. So, I don't know. That's kind of weird. So, yeah, as soon as things started going crazy with wax, I got out of it because it was just, I would rather buy the cards that I want as opposed to buying stuff and getting skunked. Now, I did buy some boxes later. Like, I'm not saying I never bought a box after that. I opened up 2010 Bowman Chrome, the one that has crack cocaine in the product, if y'all remember that, along with Topps Chrome that year. So Blowout actually knocked those things down to $39.99 for a Black Friday special. So I remember buying a box of those. I was like, okay, I'll rip something for $40. I also bought a case. I only bought one case in my life, and I flipped it, and it was a 2010 Bowman Chrome draft case. And I think I flipped it for like $200. I didn't open it. I did buy some early first off the line products in 2017, like Donruss Optic. I got a case of those. I got a couple loose boxes and stuff. I never opened them, but I mean, it was fun, flipping for a little bit, but the prices just shot up and it just got way, way, way too crazy. So to me, it's a little bit too much. So this is Pop 9, so I think I saw this last night. For those of you who were in the chat last night, this card's Pop 9. I have like 3 of them in the last 2 orders, so I think I have a third of the pop. Let's see. Yes, live. Yes, fake game use. Not even, I guess you'd call that not game used. call that Fanatics used. Fanatics worn. So yeah, it definitely disappoints me with a lot of the Fanatics. Not only checklist subjects, but there's stickers now in National Treasures. There's stickers in Immaculate. I don't know if there's stickers in Flawless. I don't think that there is, but it's just, man, a lot of fake game used or non-game used, player worn. It's really, really disappointing. Yes, that's right. Do your brothers still collect, or are they jealous? So, no, actually, I don't know. So Robin was the big collector. He actually asks me, occasionally about some cards. So whenever I'll show him some stuff, and he'll be like, "Whoa, that's really cool." I remember, like way back in the early 2000s, I had a Lance Berkman autograph, and he was like completely blown away. He's like, "You got a Lance Berkman autograph?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, it's not that cool. So I'll show him some stuff now, and he'll be kind of fascinated with it. He took a work trip in early 2000s, 2003, 2004, whenever Pujols was really, really popular. And this kind of goes back to me opening up a pack of cards. So he brought back 2 packs of Bowman from 2001. Again, Bowman stands on its own. They didn't have Bowman Chrome back then, and it was a separate product. So, and I like that. I prefer that. So he brought back 2 packs, and of course at the time the chase was to getting a Bowman Albert Pujols rookie, because he doesn't have a base Bowman Chrome card. His Bowman Chrome was autographed, number to 500, SP less than 500 because it was a redemption. But he brought back 2 packs, and of course the chase was Pujols, and I opened them up. He got them from Japan, so from some card store in Japan. Sure enough, the Albert Pujols was sitting in there in one of those packs. So I ended up breaking open and pulling an Albert Pujols Bowman. I haven't pulled the Topps Chrome Albert Pujols from some retail packs at like a Kmart. So Kmart had a loose box, and I knew, anything 2001. This is probably the first year that rookies took off. So Albert Pujols and Ichiro took the hobby to, again, another stratosphere. It was LeBron before LeBron. Like that year, I remember as a kid, and it sucks because my dad still has all of his unopened boxes. He got everything from 97 to 99 and a couple of 2000 boxes, but in 2000 he never bought NFL. The only NFL 2000 box that he has is Upper Deck Legends. No Tom Brady. He stopped buying baseball and basketball in 2003, but he skipped 2001 because Pujols and Ichiro was so hot. So literally all the boxes that he has are from garbage years, with the exception of getting Upper Deck MJ stuff where you have a chance at getting Michael Jordan autographs. And of course now every Topps Chrome basketball product is taken off for the refractors, like Kobe refractors, Duncan. But 99, 2000 is a garbage year. He has 98, 99 with Vince Carter, Paul Pierce, Jay Williams. And he's got 97, 98 with Tim Duncan and, I think Tracy McGrady. But yeah, he doesn't have the Tom Brady years, unfortunately, or the LeBron, or the Pujols and Ichiro. But Pujols and Ichiro from 2001 is mania. So I remember going to Kmart and trying to find Topps Chrome, and they had like half a box left. So I got them all, and of course I pulled it was a late edition. So the Pujols card doesn't even look chrome, it looks foil. So the actual chrome looking card came out in Topps Chrome Update. So Pujols card that actually looks chrome is in Topps Chrome Update. The actual Topps Chrome card, it doesn't even look like it has a chrome finish. It's like a foil finish. And it says late edition on the upper corner. So I pulled that one out of pack too. So I did pull 2 cool Pujols cards out of packs, which kind of makes me happy. This is a Pop 2 Julio, by the way. So only 2 of these graded PSA 10. So that one was pretty sweet. These are good questions. We're kind of doing some little histories here. So I guess to answer the question, they don't collect anymore. Robin just takes a look at stuff. My other brother James, he collected at the same time, but he quit pretty early. He quit probably like right around Kobe's rookie year or the year after. He was like, yeah, I'm too cool for this. And he still has all of his cards. He's got all his Kobe rookies, all of his MJs. I was actually trying to find some of his Kobe's because I remember him having like the Ultra Fresh Faces Kobe rookie. That card graded high grade PSA is a couple $100 card. PSA 10's 4 figures. So tried to find it over Christmas and I couldn't find it. And he's got some Jordans, but nothing super special. His collection's kind of meh. And then the oldest brother, he never collected anything. He collects guitars and he's a bass player, so yeah, he wasn't into that. But in terms of jealous, no, they're not jealous. They all have their own hobbies. Like my brother James, he's bigger at what he does than I do with what I do. Like I'm a pharmacist, and pharmacy's not that sexy. And then cards are fun, but it's not like I'm huge. But he's pretty big in what he does. So like he basically tunes, or he has his own shop basically for high performance cars. So he has his own dyno and performance shop, and he is big into the drag racing scene. So he has like a 2,000 horsepower Camaro. It's turboed, like massive horsepower. And he works for some company that does engineering testing for a lot of cars. So in my family, more people are impressed with what he does as opposed to what I do, because this isn't really fun. Most of my family doesn't like sports anymore. They view it as the culture is completely different from whenever Michael Jordan played. Like, he was a respectable athlete. Like, that era was just more respectable. Now they don't even watch it unless I watch it, and I only watch it for the players that I really, really root for and like Patrick Mahomes and NBA and Ohtani. I watch every Ohtani game, but they're more into like sports cars and racing and that type of stuff. So, I mean, I like cars too. What guy doesn't like cars? But I also like trying to make money and stuff like this. But he makes money in a different way, and it's he's got a huge, huge following with what he does because he's really, really good at it. Very, very good. So I'd say if anybody's got a little envy, it's probably me because he actually is. He's crushing it at what he does, like very, very, very well. So, but I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm not insecure about it. Let's see. You were around for JD Drew. Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. JD Drew was a phenom. Jeez. What was it? Fleer Update was JD Drew's best rookie, and I think he had an Upper Deck Victory as well. Well, so he came right after Troy Gloss, too. So in 97, you had Kerry Wood, who was the first. This Bowman Chrome hit $80. And then 98, the big guy in Bowman Chrome Series 1 was Orlando Hernandez, or El Duque, for the Yankees. But then you also had Jose Cruz. Jose Cruz Jr. was the big guy in 97 Bowman Chrome. I think Florida Marlins, if I'm not mistaken. So those were the two big guys. And then in 98 Series 2, you had Troy Gloss, who he actually panned out. Like, he hit 40-plus home runs. He was an all-star. He flamed out really, really quick. I remember his Leaf Rookies and Stars card was huge. I'm going to go get these other two boxes real quick. Ooh. And then in 99, you had Alfonso Soriano for the Yankees. I'm trying to think, in between, of course, there's some pitchers. Like, 99 was kind of a dead year. You had, like, it's either 99 or 2000 was Roy Oswalt, Carlos Zambrano, Josh Hamilton, but Josh Hamilton had his issues up until, 2007, 2008. Then he turned it around. Got his rookie logo in 2008 after 9 years. Same thing with Joey Votto. Joey Votto got his in 2008 after, what was that? 2002. He was a 2002 guy. But there are some dead years there. So not a good time to have wax because no Pujols, no Ichiro. Troy Gloss was probably the best player of that era, and he's forgotten now. Lance Berkman was 97 as well. He had a brief stint of being successful, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of hype around some of those other guys. But JD Drew had a ton of hype. But then, of course, you had 2001 with McGuire and Sosa, and the rookies were hot, but I mean, not 2001, 1998. So that 98 and 99 year, for me, the late 90s wasn't about the rookies. It was about 85 tops. It was about 1990 Leaf. It was about, and then Griffey was still Griffey. Like, Griffey wasn't washed yet. Like, he wasn't even with the Reds. He came to the Reds in 2000. So that was fun. I lived in Lexington, or basically a little bit south of Lexington. So we would go to Reds games, and I got to watch, Griffey growing up. I hated the Reds. I was a Cubs fan. I was a huge Sammy Sosa fan. So I kind of took having Griffey in the backyard for granted a little bit. But everybody loved Griffey where I was at. Like, everybody, period, loved Griffey. He was the hobby superstar. But being in the Midwest around that time, it was all Chicago Cubs, Mark McGuire, and then Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was pretty divisive, though, because I think at that point in the early 2000s, people knew all these guys were juicing, and it really split the fan base of, do you like them or do you not like them? So I know I'm skipping over all these cool cards like Cherry Blossom Trouts and super, super, super short print stuff. I'm just having more fun just talking about stuff and reminiscing about old prospects. JD Drew was a good one. Troy Gloss. Man, I know I'm forgetting some people. Felix PA, that was 2003. That was 2003. Hanley Ramirez was one. I thought that Hanley was going to be the next big guy, and it looked like he was going to be. He had a year in 2006 or 2007 where he just 30 for 30 club. Like, he was a Red Sox, or was on the Red Sox, or drafted by the Red Sox, I think. I forget where he had his breakout. Was it with the Marlins, maybe? Can't remember. It's been so long. But by that time, you had so many young players in the league. I mean, you had Pujols coming up. You had Miguel Cabrera. He's the guy who put out my Cubs, and their first trip to the World Series with the Berkman fiasco. Bartman. There we go. Gosh, dude. I was a huge fan of Mark Pryor. So Mark Pryor was 2004 or two. No, was he Pujols and Ichiro's rookie year? I think he was 2001. He was absolutely 2001. Dude, if that guy had not been injured, could have been one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And whenever he was pitching, he was in fact one of the best pitchers in baseball. Just injuries, unfortunately. Loved having him and watching him as a Cub. Luckily, stayed away from his cards and stayed away from pitchers because he got hurt. But that was really, really unfortunate. Trying to think who else. 2002 was David Wright. I can't remember really many other people having a lot of hype, but I'm sure the names are escaping me because it's been so long. 2003, Ryan Howard, and that was also Ricky Weeks and Delman Young. I think Ricky Weeks may have been 2004. 2004 was Felix Hernandez, and I forgot who else after that. 2005. 2005, it depends on what set you're looking at. So that was a loaded Bowman draft year. You had Justin Verlander, Matt Kemp, Jay Bruce, Troy Tulowitzki. It was absolutely loaded with all-star talent. And not every single player had an autograph. So you had Matt Kemp with an autograph, Justin Verlander with an autograph, Jay Bruce did not have an autograph. So he did not have a Bowman Chrome autograph. Nelson Cruz was in 2005, but he did not get a Bowman Chrome autograph because he was kind of under the radar. He was one of those 4A guys, like one of those guys who's a lifer in the minor leagues, and he just kept hitting homer after homer after homer, and finally some team gave him a chance, and he was like, okay, I'll do this in the majors. Chris Marrero was a guy who had some hype. He was supposed to be the next Pujols, according to Beckett. They got that wrong. Remember, they released their baseball prospectus intro, and they called him they stopped doing that, and I think it's because they called Chris Marrero the next Albert Pujols, and I got caught up in that. I bought a couple of his autographs, and yeah, they didn't turn out well. So he's probably one of the, I didn't buy a lot, but I was like, oh, he's the next Pujols. I got to buy one of his cards. Got suckered into that. Thanks, Beckett. So then I started doing research on my own. After you lose a couple times, you're like, okay, what went wrong? So then you're like, oh, okay, this is what you have to do. You actually have to look into this a little bit more, and be a little bit better gauge of analytics and past successes and at predicting future successes. Not looking at scouting reports, but relying on actually the hitting data. It doesn't matter what a scouting report says if the actual data is showing that you can't hit the baseball, or you're hot on the at home but cold on away games. Maybe it's your ballpark, maybe it's your league. There's all kinds of different ways to really analyze stuff. So let's see. Love ETOPS. Yes, ETOPS. I love ETOPS. I was a big ETOPS guy, but I think the way that the ETOPS program ended, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think that it ended really bad, because didn't TOPS basically hold hostage all the cards and were like, we're going to confiscate these unless you pay a ridiculous shipping fee individually to have these shipped back to you. That was kind of wild how that entire ETOPS program went defunct. But it was a great concept. Do you have that? No, unfortunately, Bailey. Great question. That is the one iconic card that I have never owned and I regret never getting. And I've never been to a show to actually see one outside of the National. I've seen them in person, but I've never actually been to a table where it's available for sale. Because even in the mid-2000s, that was the Bowman Chrome card to get. And in my opinion, it still is. You can still get the Trouts. I mean, the Trouts are more valuable, but it's not as obtainable because they're always available. I mean, there's probably 2,000 to 2,500 base trouts. There's 500 refractors, 225 X-fractors, 150 blues, 50 golds, 25 oranges, 5 reds, 1 superfractor. So you do the math, that adds up to a lot more than 500, which there's not even 500 of the Pujols. Like, that's the top end estimation, because these were redemptions and not every single one of them got redeemed. Now you have to be careful with that card too, because a lot of people would wipe off the serial number and forge the serial number. So there's a couple fake serial numbers out there that are jersey numbered. Topps has learned their lesson over time, hopefully. But yeah, I never got any big Pujols 2001 cards. The one card that I did get at a show, and this one kind of showed me how sketchy grading is and how sketchy trimming is. So at a card show, I remember getting an SP Game Used bat gold numbered to 35. The serial number on it, I still remember, is 25 out of 35. Albert Pujols Game Used bat. I had a nicked corner, like upper left or upper right. Sold it on eBay, got a couple $100 out of it. Pujols was hot. I mean, the base card was probably $75, $80. The gold version was a couple hundred, maybe $250, $300. So I sold it, clearly had dings. I remember seeing that card sell a couple months later in a Beckett 9.5 holder, and there was no ding on the corner whatsoever. So trimming has been around, dare I say, for a long time, unfortunately. And that's what makes me a little bit happy about what Nat has done with PSAs, because I've known that trimming and art altering has been around. Back then, it wasn't as, I don't think, common to know that graded cards could be trimmed, but what they were clearly doing were swapping patches. And I think the fake patch scandals from people taking regular game use cards and inserting fake game use patches, that was a big contributor in terms of decreasing the value of patch cards and game use memorabilia. I think memorabilia stuff is on the rise now. I love it. I think it's one of the coolest concepts. The greatest sports card innovation, along with a serial number, is actual game use cards. The worst hobby innovation is fake game use cards, meaning not game use, meaning junk relics, meaning not even player one, or even if it is player one, I don't care about it. I want it to come from an officially sanctioned, licensed, professional sporting event. Basketball, baseball, football. I do not want it to be worn by some schmuck in an office with a bunch of fake patches on it. And I don't want it to be some commemorative helmet memorabilia that they keep inserting in tops. Like, don't do it. It's so annoying. But I loved all the game use stuff. But during that time frame, you had trimming, which was becoming a little bit more popular. Unfortunately, Kevin Burge, everybody knows his name. Any card that was coming from North Carolina that had a patch on it, you avoided. You just knew, don't buy game use cards from, I want to say it's Mooresville, North Carolina. Doesn't matter what the eBay ID is. Doesn't matter. You do not buy anything from Mooresville, North Carolina. You stay away. Just because that is where the corruption circle seemed to be starting, because that's where Kevin Burge was at, and that's where all his little schmucks were at. So, and you kind of just stayed away from anything that looked like it was just ridiculously fake. So, unfortunately, in my opinion, that killed a lot of the game use market. And people were also trimming cards, people were altering them. But, we've come clearly into a different era now, for the better, where I think that's becoming a little bit more detected. I think that they're going a little bit over on it, but I'd rather be over than under, I guess. So, all right, let's get these boxed up. And I think we got one more box. We've got some... Dude, I actually like talking about cards like this way more than I like talking about the cards themselves. So maybe this is kind of cool for others if you've been in the hobby for a while to reminisce just about how things used to be back in the day from somebody who has some historical perspective. That's one big reason why I do not watch any other content on YouTube, with the exception of a couple of people. I'll watch some things occasionally whenever I have some time. There's some content I like from some people out there, but most of the people are so new in the hobby, they can't have a conversation about any hobby trend or what's been popular and have any historical knowledge or context. So that to me is troublesome. I don't understand why a lot of these people are as big as they are whenever their audience or their hobby knowledge and historical knowledge is so null and void. I really don't. And that's not coming from a place of envy because, again, I don't watch them. But I just know that they're massively influential on the hobby, so much so that some of them have baseball cards now in Big League. And some of these people don't even know how to pronounce the names of some of the more common players. They don't follow the sports. Like, they don't know hobby trends. All they know is they're good at marketing and they're good at putting out content on a regular basis. So that is one good thing that I can say that they are great at. But carrying on conversations like what we're having, it's a little bit tough. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting up some of these. Do a video of buying and bidding on eBay. So Purple Rain, do you think I should do that live or just going back through and doing like a recap and then uploading it a little bit later? The hard part about doing it live is if I set snipes, if anybody is a seller of the cards I'm setting snipes on, they're going to come through and just basically bid up to what my snipe is. So I'm a little bit cautious of doing a live one. I would be okay with doing a live one just to go through and assess cards and be like, hey, this is how you can look at some of these cards and be like, hey, this is a good one, this is a bad one, and walk through my thought process. Speaking of which, I'm about to go through every single Julio you're about to see, not a single PSA 10. So I've got 45% gem rate, and I don't know what happened on these, but every single one of them came back a horrible grade. We're talking 9s at best, 7s at worst. So just FYI. So I would like to do that, but maybe not actually me setting snipes or anything, more of like an assessment. What team do you think Ohtani is signing with? It's funny. I watched the one thing that I like to binge watch on YouTube, I love the show First Things First with Chris Broussard. Love Chris Broussard, and I love The Herd, Colin Cowherd, and a couple of all their spinoff shows. But one of them was talking about where Ohtani was going to go, and I think one of them made a good point. You don't want to be the GM that actually trades Ohtani. So I actually don't think that there's going to be a deal made. I think that Ohtani's going to sign long-term with the Angels. And I would honestly think that's probably the best thing to do, unless he walks. So they're not going to trade him. He may not sign an extension, but the team that signs him after that, I have no clue. But I guess just answering it in terms of will there be a trade, I don't think that there's going to be a trade. I'll be on, my balls are not big enough to trade Shohei Ohtani. If I was an owner, sorry, dude, I got small balls whenever it comes to making that decision. I'm not doing it. I'm not pulling the trigger. Trading the best player on the planet, arguably the best, most valuable player, that's like you trading Babe Ruth. Your franchise is cursed for 100 years, like Boston. So I couldn't do that. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that I could trade him. But in terms of signing him, gosh, dude, I don't know how the Yankees could afford him, but I think it would be awesome to see him in a Yankee uniform, just because he would be on an international city with a lot of Japanese in New York. At the same time, it's on the East Coast, so everybody gets to watch him. And he is in the biggest market. Aaron Judge is kind of, he is Mr. Yankee right now, so it's not like you have a lot of pressure to go and save the franchise. It's got to be a team that has some international Japanese flavor. So you think Seattle. Please don't go to Seattle. Don't go to Seattle. That's miserable. Don't do it. You got to think it's got to be a California team, maybe the Dodgers. I think staying in LA, the city of LA is probably a good fit for him just because there's a lot more, again, international influence, a lot of Japanese, lots of Chinese, lots of Asian, more relatable. I think if he goes to a place where it's more of an American culture type city, which LA is, but he can still find his own niche, I guess, and his own people. But the more Americanized it is, the worse it is for Ohtani, because he is not Americanized at all. And that's a good thing. He does not need to be Americanized. I would prefer him to be Ohtani. That's what makes me like you, is you're not like everybody else. You're very unique. But I would much rather him stay in a city that is going to have people around him, but also be on a contending team. I think the only teams that's going to be is the Yankees, the Dodgers. I would hate to see him on the New York Mets because he's not in the best team in that city. He's not on the best team in his current city, Anaheim. So, I mean, you can make that argument, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking Dodgers. Maybe Dodgers. Man, I like this. This is a really, really good card. I've got a couple of these. Let's see. Got a couple more questions in here. Yeah, lots of eights. Lots of eights, unfortunately. Mets or Giants? So, yeah, I could see Giants. Giants flipped through my head, but for some reason it wasn't coming out of my mouth. So I think Giants is also a possibility. Dude, I would love to see him in that ballpark. And Giants fans are big, big pocket collectors. If anybody remembers Wassa back in the day, I think Wassa was active last year buying some cards. So I think he may be back in the market. He just needs a superstar to go after. Like, he was going big after Buster Posey and stuff like that, but Buster Posey's retired now. It's crazy. I saw him come up and I saw him leave. That means I'm old. Not good. Yeah. Hopefully, Newbar convinced him to go to St. Louis. I mean, I could see St. Louis being a good place for him too. I know it's not an international city. It's not that great, but huge collector base, rabid fan base. History of winning. They won with Pujols. They won after Pujols, I think. Let's see. Not sure if you're in Allen and Ginter or not, but have you gotten any crazy autos from the product? 2012 was insane with Roger Federer, Michael Phelps, Arnold Palmer. No, man. I've got a bunch of the Chrome autographs. So some of the Ginter Chrome autographs. A lot of the guys that I wanted were redemptions this year. And this year it didn't look like the autograph checklist was that great. There's a couple musicians, like a couple guitar players that looked like they were pretty cool. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but it didn't look like this year was as crazy as previous years. Like, I was expecting with since we don't have tennis yet, like, when are we going to see like another Federer autograph or a Rafael Nadal or Djokovic or Novak Djokovic. Like, I want to see some of those guys, or even some more Serena Williams like autographs, because I know they're working on Topps Soccer, but apparently you have to get individual contracts for each player. It's not like a league or anything like that, so that's the holdup. But why don't you just sign one of these big guys and have them sign autographs? Like, I thought, what's the other girl? Naomi Osaka? Is that her name? The Japanese tennis player. Like, I would like to see some more of these types of players. And also some golf people. I know they're Upper Deck's making golf, so maybe that's why they can't do it in Topps. But so the last two of these, I got a PSA 6 and a PSA 8. This is a set that has a gem rate of over 75%. So don't know if old Juan Mas dropped his autographs, but I think I also just got obliterated by the greater two. Ryan Sandberg autograph PSA 9. I've not gotten a PSA 10 on those, unfortunately. That kind of stinks. Let's see. Please yeah, dude. I would not like that because I'm a Cubs fan. So I would actually like to see him go to Chicago. That would be cool. Go to Chicago. Although I hate Chicago. I love Chicago. I love to visit Chicago. I'd hate to live in Chicago. I'm just saying. Not to get political. Hate to live in Chicago. Love visiting Chicago. Great food, great people, great sports. Huge MJ fan. I'd probably go live at the statue. I'd probably live under the statue. I'd be homeless. I'd be homeless at the United Center. I'd be okay with that. And then I'd probably bounce up to Wrigleyville and hang out at Wrigley on Waveland Avenue. I'd be homeless up there. Go around and bum for change. Watch a couple games every now and then. I could do that. But I wouldn't want to do that because it's a lot. It costs a lot of money to live in Chicago. I can't afford it. All the tolls and I don't know. Actually, it's expensive where I live too. So maybe I could make it work. But still, not a big fan of the culture up there, but I would love to see him play for my favorite team. That would actually be really cool. And I still have not yet seen a game at Wrigley. Despite being a Cubs fan since '98, despite being in Chicago numerous times, despite being at Wrigley Field and walking around Wrigley Field and having a bunch of food around Wrigleyville, still have not been to an actual ball game there. And it sucks because the best time to have gone for me would be during Sammy Sosa's time. How the city has moved on from Sammy Sosa, I don't know. Like, why are we hurting this guy? Like, dude, Sammy Sosa was Chicago after Michael Jordan left. Like, that city had the biggest void after MJ. And guess who picked it up in the summer of '98 after Michael Jordan called it quits in the summer of '98? His name's Sammy Sosa. And he took the national media by storm with Mark McGwire for the next 5-6 years. So the way they treat him now, I mean, yeah, he's not going to say that he did steroids or anything. And yeah, he has weird skin because he puts lotion on it and it makes him white, which is weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know what? I love Sammy. Sammy's awesome. He just looks like Michael Jackson now. Like, I can't help it. Let's see. All right, what else we got here? Osaka and tennis. Yes, that would be a good one. All right, let's see. I'm missing a bunch of these. Yep. Purdy Nation. Yeah, dude. He would have to compete with Purdy in San Fran. That is true. Definitely have to compete with Purdy. I do have a broken iPhone. Yes. Have you seen the follow back social media cards? So are those from the big league set? I think those are some of the ones I've seen. So dude, sports cards investors, I'm sure there has to be memes out there. Like what he is doing with his hands, it's like, he's like, and it just looks like you want to crop in something in his hands. Let me get in here. It looks like you want to just crop something in his hands. And I'm not going to do it because I don't want people to do it. But you could probably just see, grab this, grab that, and just shove it in your mouth. I'm sure somebody's going to do it. Somebody's absolutely going to make a GIF out of that or a meme. He's just begging for somebody to meme that card. I think those are the ones that you're talking about. They're so goofy. Jeez. But I actually like the concept. I mean, a lot of these people have brought a lot of marketing to the hobby. So, I mean, I get it. But yeah, his picture is hilarious. It is so funny. Topps actually signed a deal with the Tennis Players Association a week or two ago. Oh, nice. Okay, I did not see that. Good. I know that was one of the holdups because I think they had announced that at the hobby convention that was actually here at Phoenix. I thought I saw somebody mention that was the holdup on tennis. So that's good. Maybe we can start getting some cards out. Seiya plus Otani. Oh my gosh. Now that would be sweet, dude. Yeah. See, I like the Seiya Suzuki guy. Like, he started off hot last year. He's like Hideki Matsui light. I mean, he's not going to be anything crazy, but you throw a couple of Japan players on one team, get a couple combo autographs, oh man, Japan's going to eat that up. That's one thing that I love that Topps does. They get their combo cards right. Like, this is one, oh my god, dude. Oh, this is one thing I hate about Panini. Why do we not have a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes dual autograph card? Why do we not have a Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce dual autograph card? Why do we not have a Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill autograph card? We're not going to have one anymore because he's gone. Why don't we have a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes dual autograph card? Why don't we have a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow dual autograph card? Why don't we have, let's think about here, Brock Purdy, Joe Montana dual autograph rookie card? Why don't we have, I mean, you just keep going on and on and on. Why don't we have any of these? Because the dingbats at Panini, they're too busy getting fired or leaving to go into Fanatics now. Of course, that's a news story. That happened in the past week. But there's no incentive. These people are so stupid. They're so stupid. Think like a collector. Think what we would want. Like, yes, it's nice to have autographs, but it's getting to the point now, Patrick Mahomes doesn't even sign autographs anymore. They don't pay him. Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't sign autographs anymore. They don't pay him. Like, all the big superstar players for any league that is supported by Panini, there is hardly any autographs anymore. If you look at Upper Deck MVP, remember Upper Deck MVP? Yes, that set that you used to buy at Walmart for 99 cents a pack, 1998, 99, 99, 2000. Guess what? They had Michael Jordan autographs in them. Unfortunately, you cannot get that anymore. Now, if you want a Giannis Antetokounmpo autograph, you can't get it in Panini Prism anymore. You can't get it in Panini Select. Those are even mid-tier products. You may or may not be able to get it in National Treasures. I don't even know if he's in the latest National Treasures or the Flawless. He might be. Very rare. Want a Tom Brady autograph? There's only 3 or 4 of them in Immaculate or National Treasures. Maybe less than 20 in the whole set. Want a Patrick Mahomes autograph? Good luck. He has none in 2022. You want, let's see, somebody else. Name another superstar player that's good. Guess what? You're not going to get their autograph. You're just not going to get it. Like, it's just... Now, part of it's also the players as well. The players don't want to sign autographs anymore. So they're making too much money. Back in the late 90s, nobody made money. So, yeah, they're going to sign as much autographs as they can to get money. Now all these people make $250 million a year. So it's like my time is more valuable than to sign a bunch of stickers for some company that I don't care about, whose fans I don't care about. I'd rather go to the strip club and wave guns around. So that's the thought process of the modern player. but it stinks. I kind of wish that we could actually get some autographs of these guys, because otherwise we're getting the same old players over and over. Like baseball, they actually sign autographs. And it's frustrating that we don't get the same out of the NFL, we don't get the same out of the basketball because of Fanatics, because of Panini. I'm getting them all mixed up now. All right, I want to say this is probably the last card that I have to show off. Let's see here. How long have we been going? We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I think this is probably going to be the last card. If anybody has any last minute questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to try and make a little bit more content to slowly drip off this week, because on Thursday, I may not be alive after Thursday. Thursday, I'm driving up to the Grand Canyon with 8 other guys, and we're going to be doing a hike from the South Rim all the way to the North Rim and then back to the South Rim in one day. It's 40 miles in less than 24 hours. It's very dangerous. I did the down and out a month ago, and that was a 15.5 mile hike starting at 2 a.m., ending at 11 a.m., and that was painful. It was very, very painful. At least the last mile was. So this is going to be 40 miles, less than 24 hours, 20 miles all the way to the North Rim. The North Rim still has snow. South Rim still has snow. We're going to be starting at either 2 or 3 a.m. on Friday a.m. So drive up Thursday, spend the night in the truck, wake up, get all the gear, all the electrolytes, all the carbs, protein, water. The dangerous part is the North Rim is not open right now. So if anything crazy happens, break a leg, anything like that, you're screwed. So you hike over there 20 miles, you got to hike back. So yeah, I'm going to slowly release a couple of videos, and if you don't see any content from me next week, maybe because I didn't make it. So hopefully I make it. We'll see. All right, guys. That's why I like Steph Curry. Yes, Steph Curry still signs. That's what I love. Steph Curry still signs. Huge, huge, huge fan of him because he still signs, and he's an old school player. Great, great family guy. Not too wrapped up in his own, head. So love it. Love Giannis too. Just wish he would sign. All right, guys. I think that's it. I'm at 1 hour and 36 minutes in. Thank you guys for hanging out, and thank you all for checking out the video earlier. Again, if you saw some other cards in here that weren't there, Bowman Chrome Shohei Ohtani's, Topps Chrome Shohei Ohtani's. I've sold like 3 or 4 of those in the past week. Topps Chrome Refractor. I sold a bunch of these autographs at the show. So a bunch of the ones like Juan Soto Gold Refractor, Aaron Judge. I sold some Aaron Judge pristine autographs. Bunch of them I've already sold, unfortunately, so won't be able to see them. But you can see some of the things I've sold on my eBay page, just to get a quick recap. But otherwise, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you all for hanging out, and we will see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.